Welcome back. Now, for the last 5 days, the proceedings in the highest lawmaking body of our nation has been stalled over two things: apology and Adani. BJP once again today said that they won't let the Congress MP Rahul Gandhi speak in the House unless he apologizes for his remarks on Indian democracy on foreign soil. On the other hand, the opposition continued to demand a joint parliamentary committee probe in the Adani-Hindenburg report row. But let me tell you what was the highlight of the day. Congress MP K.C. Venugopal moved a privilege motion against the Prime Minister in the Rajya Sabha. Yes, the grand old party has moved a privilege motion against the Prime Minister under Rule 188 over his Nehru-Gandhi remarks. And quoting from the privilege motion notice, K.C. Venugopal has alleged that the Prime Minister's statement was, quote-unquote, derogatory, insulting and distasteful, defamatory in nature. The Prime Minister had earlier targeted the Gandhis over their surname, questioning why does the Gandhi Parivar not use the Nehru surname. Days after, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi told the British parliamentarians that functioning microphones in the Lok Sabha are often silenced against the opposition. The Congress amped the mic-muted charge, this being the other highlight of the day. The grand old party alleged that the live streaming of the Lok Sabha session was muted amid the sloganeering. The Congress said that there was no audio for 20 minutes and that the proceedings were muted for Prime Minister Modi's friends. The grand old party also shared a clip on Twitter in which the audio in the House apparently goes silent during the opposition's protest. But right after the proceedings began, let's take a look at what exactly happened.
I just want to again re-emphasize that they are trying to divert the attention from the core issue of corruption. These are the parties which are having a characteristic tendency for corruption. They have institutionalized corruption, and now they are facing the true investigation, and that's why they are trying to divert investigation or intimidate the agencies.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the clip that we played out of the Speaker Om Birla from the Lok Sabha is not an audio issue at the our end of Mirror Now. That is how the Lok Sabha proceeding was telecasted while the opposition parties sloganeered and protested. However, the ruling BJP has said that it was not deliberate but a technical glitch. Are we to believe it? Let's take a listen. But now, of course, I am joined by the Rajya Sabha MP, Nasir Hussain, who is live with us from the Rajya Sabha. Well, we'll try and reconnect with him, but I'm also joined by our other guest, who is Sujeet Kumar from the Rajya Sabha. He is an MP from the BJD. There is Dharinder Tayal, who is a BJP leader, and Ashpreet Khadial, who is a Congress spokesperson. Let me first go across to my colleague. Let me first go across to our Rajya Sabha MP and senior Congress parliamentarian, Mr. Nasir Hussain, who's joining us here at Mirror Now's Daily Mirror. Sir, appreciate you joining us here and taking out time. Mr. Hussain, the BJP says that it was a technical glitch where the audio of the Lok Sabha proceeding was muted. But this is something that Rahul Gandhi had mentioned in his speeches when he was in UK, that the opposition mic seems to have turned off. Do you think Rahul Gandhi was vindicated?
I think what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said in an academic institution in London is something which he has been telling both in the parliament and outside the parliament in our country. During the Bharat Jodo Yatra, an n number of times he has raised this issue. Now, what is important in a parliamentary democracy is the voice of the opposition needs to be heard. when you have an parliament session, the government comes with its agenda. But at the same time, the opposition raises issues which concerns the people of the country, raises issues on the events, on the issues that have which have been raised by the people, and also on the incidents that have happened or not happened in the country in which the government is involved or not involved. What is
Well, there seems to be an audio or a network issue, and we'll try and reconnect. But let me also go across to our other colleagues. I beg your pardon, our guests who are joining us at this point in time. Sujeet Kumar, who is a BJD MP, is joining us also from the Rajya Sabha. Good evening to all our guests, and thank you for taking out time for us over here at Mirror Now. Mr. Kumar, my first question, of course, would go across to you. This is something that the opposition party has time and again maintained from both the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, that they are not given a chance to speak and express themselves, that their mics seems to be muted. And today we did play out that chunk of the Lok Sabha proceedings where there was no audio whatsoever, even as the protests were on. Well, Mr. Kumar, my question was directed towards you, Mr. Sujeet Kumar, that do you think that the opposition mics are tampered with, are switched off, or for that matter, the proceedings of the House when the opposition is running to the well and sloganeering is muted, like we had put across that video clip from the Lok Sabha today? Mr. Sujeet Kumar, if you could hear me, my question was directed towards you. Well, we'll try and reconnect with Mr. Sujeet Kumar, but I'm also joined by Ashpreet Khadial of the Congress Party. Mr. Khadial, this is exactly what we were talking to Mr. Nasir Hussain also earlier, that the charge that the opposition levels against the government of the day, that their audio or their mic seems to have been muted, seems to be vindicated today, even as the BJP maintains that it was a technical glitch. Do you buy the technical glitch argument?
Not at all. In fact, the Bharatiya Janata Party is accustomed to using these kind of excuses because the Bharatiya Janata Party knows it as a matter of fact that Mr. Gandhi said it back in the day and everybody can now see it's come out to be true. Number two, the Bharatiya Janata Party wants the Congress Party to apologize for the statements given. Well, I think the Bharatiya Janata Party should first apologize for the statements made in 2015 on Chinese soil when a Bharatiya Janata Party's leader said that earlier people used to feel ashamed for being born in India. And was that not demeaning to our country? Was that not demeaning and looking down upon our traditions, our cultures, and our citizens? Number two, there was another statement given by the Bharatiya Janata Party that nothing has been done in the last 60 to 70 years. When the world looks up to us, looks forward to India, our very own leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party went ahead and said this. So they should first apologize for it, give up their double standards, condemn that, and then should they talk about us. Number two, what Mr. Gandhi said abroad is the criticism of the government, and the criticism of government is not criticism of India. The Bharatiya Janata Party should understand that. The fact of the matter is that we have freedom of speech and expression guaranteed to us by the Constitution. But this very Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to do away with that by either muting our mics, by not giving us equal opportunities to speak. As you would have seen yesterday when Mr. Gandhi walked in, within a minute, the session was adjourned. And, the Lok Sabha, after being convened, within 2 minutes, it was adjourned.
Tayal also, Mr. Tayal,
within 4 minutes of being
what
convened,
Mr.
it was
Khadial is
adjourned.
trying to essentially say that the opposition parties are not given any forum to express themselves or speak their mind. If it's inside the house, inside the parliament, then their mics are muted or the house is adjourned in the matter of seconds that we have been witnessing in the last couple of days. And when they're protesting or speaking outside of the parliament, then there's a privilege motion notice against them, or they are asked to apologize. Where is the space for opposition and democracy then, Mr. Tayal?
I think very, very interesting because, part of maybe, if we go by the stretch of imagination which has been put forward, then what Mr. Gandhi said that even the press has been hijacked by the BJP, it seems even Mirror now possibly has been hijacked because two people who were supposed to speak for the opposition, their mics were muted. So, which is the two Rajya Sabha MPs, and we know how true that is. So, that's the kind of straws the party is clutching on. So please defend yourself. I'm not going to defend you, and please convince them that it is a genuine technical glitch, and you haven't consciously and deliberately switched off the mics of these two gentlemen from the Rajya Sabha. Having said that, it is the same kind of a glitch. If the session had to be suspended anyway, why switch off the mics? If it had to happen 20 minutes later, it could have happened 20 minutes earlier. Nothing is going to be gained by that. So let us come to the crux of what we want to do, not clutch at straws here or there, just because we are a failing party.
Okay, Mr. Tayal, I have paucity of time. Let me also bring in Gautam Lahiri, who's a senior journalist. Mr. Lahiri, you have witnessed many parliament sessions in your life. You are not new to parliament sessions for so many years, and you have been covering the parliament. But have you ever witnessed the present scenes that are being unfolding in both the houses of the parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, where on one hand the opposition parties claim that is the treasury benches that is holding the legislative business of the House to ransom, and then on the other hand the opposition party claims that the mics are being muted. Have you ever seen something like this? Because eventually it's the cost to the exchequer for running the parliament. But Mr. Lahiri, if you could hear me, that question was addressed to you. Okay, we are facing a technical audio issue with Gautam Lahiri, as ironical as it may be. But I'm also joined by Rajya Sabha MP from the BJD, Sujeet Kumar, here with me. Mr. Kumar, I appreciate you joining us here at Mirror Now. My minimum question to you would be, as we have a paucity of time here, that do you face a situation where you feel that the mics of the opposition party MPs in the House is muted, or for that matter, they are not being given adequate time and space to express themselves in the House?
Personally, I've never faced such a scenario, and I'm not sure whether any other colleagues of mine in the BJD have faced an eventuality like this. But having said this, it's extremely unfortunate what's unfolding in the parliament now, when both the treasury and the opposition benches are holding the parliament to ransom. The logjam, I think, has to be settled. The deadlock has to be removed so that parliament can function. 2.5 lakh rupees every minute is the cost to the exchequer, and this is taxpayers' money. And what message are we sending to the country? People are sending us to parliament to discuss issues of national importance, to discuss issues of relevance to the constituency, of issues of importance to the common man. And when we are unable to discuss this because of the disruptions, because of the sloganeering, I think it's very, very unfortunate, being the largest democracy. And I'm very, very saddened to say this, that the treasury bench, whose responsibility it should be to make sure that the parliament runs smoothly, is equally responsible. They are the ones who are creating the maximum ruckus, at least in these last 5 days. That's what we have seen. So I would strongly urge, and I must place it on record here that my party, Biju Janata Dal, has never ever, in the last 25 years of its existence, indulged in any kind of disruption or has ever gone to the well of the House. We believe in constructive criticism. Whenever we feel that any policy or scheme of the government is anti-people or anti-nation, we oppose it tooth and nail. But
Absolutely.
Whenever we feel that the government is working
Yes.
And its policies are good for the country or good for the people or pro-people, we support them. We support them vociferously. So that's how the role of an opposition party should be. So
thank you, Mr. Kumar, for putting things into perspective. Today. I appreciate and thank all our guests for joining us here at Mirror Now. But I have paucity of time, so I can't really continue with this discussion any further. But thank you for taking out time and joining us here. That is a side commentary on the democratic practice of allowing equal opportunity to all political parties to have a say when the parliament is in session. And now we are moving on to some other story that we are tracking at this hour, is where a trouble is mounting for TikTok across the world. Several governments have already banned the app from their equipment, and their biggest fear is that the data can be viewed in China. New Zealand has become the latest country